We had been riding for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I just started passing out.
He just tipped over, and I ran down to him, and I was on my knees with him. I thought he was dead.
And my wife's going, "Oh my God!" And I go, "Okay, I gotta stop." I hopped out and I gave him CPR. The EMTs showed up. They got the paddles out and they shocked you twice. And sure enough, pulse comes back up. You start breathing on your own, and so you were good.
You saved my husband.
Mm-hmm.
A week later, we had our 47th anniversary. Okay? We have grown children, we have grandchildren, we have dear friends, and to every single one of the people, what you did made an enormous difference.
Very glad.
Most of us probably know someone who's had a sudden cardiac arrest. 80% of them happen while at home. So if one day you were to witness somebody having a sudden cardiac arrest, would you know what to do? Each year, over 400,000 people in the U.S. suffer sudden cardiac arrest. More than 9,000 are under 18. In most major cities, survival is less than 10%. 59% of people surveyed do not feel confident enough to try to save a life. 24% would call 911 and then wait for the ambulance or a passerby who might know CPR.
You don't need statistics to tell you that CPR saves lives, but what you have to know is that you have to begin it immediately, because for every minute that you delay initiating CPR, mortality increases by 10%. That means after about 10 minutes, there's virtually no chance for survival. If you begin CPR early, the chances of survival double or even triple. In states like New Mexico and communities throughout the country, the survival rate from sudden cardiac arrest out of the hospital is less than 10%, but it doesn't have to be that way. Right now in Seattle, Washington, the survival rate of cardiac arrest is the highest in any place in the world. Why? Because the people in Seattle have made a commitment over the years to train everyone possible to learn to save a life. Be part of this important program in New Mexico so that we can reach the same high standard.
And Ed just gasped, breathed in, and then slouched. Nothing. No breath, no pulse. Just got out of the car, ran to the front door, and said, "Call 911 and bring the AED." It was just like, I just yelled it. Went back to the passenger side, opened the door, and immediately started chest compressions. A few minutes later, a couple of trainers came out from the gym, and they took over with chest compressions. They worked fast too. They didn't waste a second. Another guy came out with the defibrillator, knew exactly what to do. Here's my husband laying on the ground, but it kicked in. It was like this is what he has to do, and he did it right, so good. But I was making sure, after the training, I thought, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what they're supposed to do. He woke up 12 hours later in the hospital.
I've been a personal trainer and a physical trainer for 16 years. We get fully certified every 2 years, so I'm well aware of how quick you have to react and how deliberate you have to be. And because of that, we've saved lives at Sports and Wellness. People have taken aerobics classes on the way out, they've collapsed, and myself or other trainers have brought them back to life. So I'm really happy that I'm here. Not often that you get a second chance at life.
Well, Project Heart Start began in 2011 on a football field in Albuquerque when we trained 1,000 people. To date, we've trained more than 50,000 people to learn 4 basic life-saving skills. We train them how to do compression-only CPR, how to recognize the signs of a heart attack, how to use the automated external defibrillator, a device that shocks the heart and tells you exactly what to do. And finally, we train people how to save a choking victim using the Heimlich maneuver. As evidence of our commitment to expanding training, the New Mexico legislature has passed 2 important bills. The first, making CPR training mandatory for students in high school as a requisite for graduation. Secondly, making the use of the automated defibrillator free from any litigation, placing it under the Good Samaritan Act. Imagine 50,000 students a year being trained and the number of lives that are going to be saved in the future.
Project Heart Start trains qualified trainers who then go on to teach others. Who wants this training? People in every community who know it's important. Teenagers and adults of all ages, moms and dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles, schools, churches, and any business or organization. No one wants to see someone die prematurely. It can be a painful loss. In a business, the loss is not only emotional, it also carries a large economic impact. Whether it's an hourly employee making $25,000 a year or a key administrator making $500,000, the replacement cost of hiring and training someone is about 1/5 of that person's annual salary.
I didn't feel badly at all. There wasn't any sign that I was having a cardiac arrest and didn't know it at the time. You have a number of employees that are loyal employees and they're with you for many years and you want to take care of them. But if the leader goes down, then it really affects the survivability of a firm. It's critical to have everybody trained in CPR. It just, out of the clear blue, it can occur.
I can appreciate the profound sadness of losing a family member, but also the financial implications that it has not only to the family, but also to the businesses where they work. Saving the life of another takes training. Our goal, ultimately, is to create a program that's self-sustaining and free throughout communities in New Mexico, and a program that could be duplicated anywhere. We ask for your support for these programs that will train and educate literally millions of people.
One of the things that hit me the hardest is that I personally have been through 2 cardiac arrests and survived against all odds. And when I was standing there watching Will die, and I was kicking myself because I thought, I've been saved a couple of times. And I just felt like, I just felt like I can't go any longer and ever feel this way again, to feel this helpless, to feel like here's my friend dying and I can't save him the way I was saved.